Hi guys, this is Samana2183, Aquatic Lover 2031 in Instagram and Andrew Basukai in Facebook. Now, today I'm going to bring you my second book review, and the book that I'm talking about is this, Freshwater Aquarium Models by John Trollope. Now, this particular book is quite an old book. It is published in 2007. So the information here and that is contained the information that is contained in this book, some of them might be a little old, but when I read it is still somewhat relevant, especially when you talk about water quality. I mean, like, it has a bit of a guideline on how to measure water hardness and what is water hardness. As well as what kind of lighting that you should use. I mean, like, what lighting is available, how to culture live foods just in case your fish needs it. But when I mention live food here, it is not like breeding guppies and feeder guppies and maybe mollies and all that. Yes, they can be used, I mean, in some circles, and some fish, certain fish that, you know, might need feeder fish, which I highly recommend not to unless it's really unavoidable situation. Because even my peacock bass in my tank has already been trained, so it can be done. We just need a lot of patience. Now, this book, as the book that I have mentioned before about loaches, it also gives you some basic guidelines, your usual water ways to maintain your aquarium, like your water changes and all that. And it also gives you a guideline of what kind of habitats fish live in the wild from your normal freshwater meaning that, does this fish come from a lake? Does this fish come from a swampy area? Does this fish come from a river? And so on and so forth. Another thing is, this book also gives you a bit of a guideline on how to choose healthy plants. I mean, like, just in case you need some plants for your aquarium, which in this book there's a bit of a guideline, as long when you go into the freshwater models that talk about some kind of like basic guideline on creating certain biotope kind of environment or look, but not exactly biotope. Like I said earlier, this book is a bit old because it's printed in 2007. So lighting wise, the one that's mentioned in this book are probably just fluorescent and metal halide, which is now just part of the things that can be used to light up an aquarium. Now that there's LEDs and everything, it is much more like convenient, and it is much more attractive. But for lighting wise, there is a bit of a guide here about the lighting guide. There's a brief light thing, right? But I don't know how relevant this is, but you guys can check it out. This book also talks about the backgrounds you can use, what kind of substrate, what kind of decor that you can use to create the layouts that are mentioned here, mentioned in this book, and as well as the placement, because when you place your hardscape, as in your your rocks, your driftwood and everything, there is a guide as well on about placement in this book, how to do a basic layout and placement. But also, one of the ways you can place your tank or create this tank is by watching lots of videos about how these fish, or whichever biotope or whichever layout that you want, that you follow from this tank in the wild. Let's say you want to go for a Lake Malawi setup, you can watch some of the videos from African Cichlid Hub. He has a lot of footage from Lake Malawi when he does his dive trips there. But also you can also use Ed Coney's latest book. I believe Jay has mentioned it or has shown it in his latest video about taking back your hobby. That is the book that you can use as a guideline about which different types of habitats these African cichlids live in the wild, so you have a basic idea. This is what I can try and replicate or create to so-called recreate a scene from that particular area or that particular kind of setup. But as always, remember this: the tank that you want, you should try to make whatever tank, landscape and everything, to be something that you always dreamed of, something that you want. This is your tank. You can use any of the layouts that is in this book, or maybe you can see other like IFG's channel, Jay's, and many more, probably like Paul from Inventory King. You can take a look at how they set up their tank, use them as an inspiration to maybe build something that's uniquely yours. Even let's say you want to do something like this, you can always try and emulate this, but maybe put a personal touch of your own to make it your own tank. Now, this book is really good. I feel decent. I feel that it's quite decent when it comes to creating your first tank. This book I feel is a good guide for beginners and maybe those experts who want to create something from different kind of continents as a basic guideline or basic concept, if you will. For example, there is for every continent there is mention from Southeast Asia and even Asia to Africa, South America, Central America, even you know, all Australia, Papua New Guinea, and all that. But there's one thing that you guys should know. There are some minor mistakes in this book as is in regards to where they place their, you know, category, and even what kind of species that they put. For example, if you can see here, this setup is supposed to be Mbuna species only tank, but the mistake that this made is they put, you can guys see, this is a Critochira moriae, which is a blue dolphin, which is actually a hat, not an Mbuna. So there's some I don't know why there's some this kind of small mistakes, but probably just a basic mistake, or maybe just a printing mistake. And another mistake that they made here is to put the blue acara in a Central American setting, which is you guys know blue acaras or Andino acara polka is actually from South America, not Central America. But there is a good wealth of information regarding, you know, South American setups and layouts for tetras, for angelfish, for discus even, and a really, you know, a big variety of like South American fish, from big fish, piranhas, even killifish, and even, you know, if you guys like to build a native tank, I mean, like those native to the US, there is even a section devoted to it, from the Everglades to the southeast, different kind of habitats from the southeastern United States, and many more. So even if like there is also a brief guide on how to make planted tanks and paludariums, just or your normal community tank here. So in short, this book for me, I shouldn't say I highly recommend this, but I still quite recommend this for those, if you know, you don't look at the minor mistakes and, you know, a bit information that is a bit outdated in terms of lighting wise. This can be a good first guide, I suppose, for those who want to make their first aquariums and still a bit undecided what to do, even after, like, you know, seeing all these awesome videos of awesome tanks in YouTube and elsewhere, maybe in forums. So yeah, give this book a go if you guys want to, you know, take a look at it and try and create something that is perhaps use the guidelines, the models that are in this book, and, you know, play around with it and create a tank that is uniquely yours or something like that. Alright guys, thanks for watching this, and one of these days I'll probably just try and get to make another species profile from either this tank or any of my other tanks, like my invertebrate tank, my community tank and you know the one that I have crebensis in it. Maybe I'll just do a species profile one of these days, as well as probably a quick update of all my tanks up till now, what has been going on and all that. Thanks for watching again, guys, and this is Samana2183 signing off. Bye bye.